Pinocchio. Okay. One day, Geppetto, a lonely carpenter, built a wooden puppet. He named him Pinocchio. While carving the puppet's mouth, it started to move and smiled at him. When Geppetto finished its feet, the puppet stood up and ran outside all on its own. "Stop, Pinocchio!" yelled Geppetto. He finally caught up to Pinocchio and told him, "You will be punished for this." People who passed by felt sorry for Pinocchio. They called a policeman to scold Geppetto for threatening the puppet. Pinocchio ran back to Geppetto's house and went into the workroom. There he heard a strange noise. Cricket! Cricket! Looking around, Pinocchio spotted a cricket. "Who are you?" Pinocchio asked. "I am the talking cricket. I'm here to tell you that boys who run away and do not listen to their parents always end up in trouble." "Why would I listen to a talking cricket?" asked Pinocchio. "Leave me alone. I'll do what I like." When Geppetto returned home, he said, "You must go to school tomorrow, Pinocchio, just like other boys." "I'm not like other boys. I'm a puppet, and I don't want to go to school." "I will make you nice clothes to wear for school," offered Geppetto. Pinocchio smiled. Clothes would make him look like a real boy. "I promise I'll go to school tomorrow," he told Geppetto, imagining how good he would look in his new clothes. The next morning, Pinocchio was on his way to school when he heard music coming from a puppet theater. Pinocchio followed the music all the way to the theater where he watched the puppets on stage. Pinocchio loved watching the puppets so much that he joined them on stage. The audience loved him. He was hired to perform at the theater and lived with the other puppets. Pinocchio meets a fox and a cat. One day, after working in the theater for several weeks, Pinocchio decided to return home and give Geppetto the money he had earned from the theater. Two travelers, the fox and the cat, seeing the money in his hand, told him that they knew a way that he could make a lot more money. "How?" asked Pinocchio. "You must go to the field of miracles, bring your money and bury it. Then pour 2 pails of water on the spot and wait a while. A money tree will grow." Believing them, Pinocchio wanted to go straight to the field of miracles and bury his money. However, the cat and the fox invited Pinocchio to eat dinner with them and stay in a local hotel overnight. When Pinocchio awoke the next morning, the fox and the cat had disappeared. They left a note for Pinocchio with directions to meet them at the field of miracles. But Pinocchio had to pay the whole bill at the hotel. Using the directions, Pinocchio walked through the forest and saw two figures covered in black cloth. "Give us your money!" they cried. Pinocchio hid his coins in his shoes and ran. He came to a white house in the woods and knocked on the door. The figures grabbed him and searched for coins. Finding none, they let him go. "We will get the coins from you tomorrow," they threatened. The blue fairy A blue fairy lived in the little white house. She opened her home to Pinocchio and let him rest a while. "I have some tea for you, Pinocchio, and some sugar to make it sweet," said the blue fairy. "I want the sugar first, and then I'll drink the tea," he promised. But after eating the sugar, Pinocchio refused to drink the tea. Pinocchio told the blue fairy his story about the field of miracles. "So where are the gold coins?" she asked. "I lost them," Pinocchio lied, so she wouldn't discover his coins. His nose began to grow. "And where did you lose them?" she asked. "In the woods," lied Pinocchio, and his nose got bigger. The blue fairy shook her head from side to side. "That's what lying boys get," but she called some birds to whittle down his nose. Pinocchio left the blue fairy's house to find Geppetto, but he ran into the fox and the cat. They talked him into going to the field of miracles. There he buried and watered his coins. Then he returned to town to wait for his money tree to grow. When Pinocchio went back to the field of miracles, there was no money tree and his buried coins were gone. He sat down and cried. The fox and the cat had stolen his coins. He went back to look for the blue fairy's house, but could not find it. A large pigeon had been looking for Pinocchio, flew down and told him, "Geppetto has built a boat to find you. Come, we will fly to him." When they reached the seashore cliff, it was storming. they could see Geppetto's boat sinking in the water. "Pigeon, what happened to Geppetto?" "There's a huge dogfish in the water," said the pigeon. "I am afraid that it will swallow him." "Then I must save him," said Pinocchio, and he threw himself into the sea. He swam for hours until a large wave picked him up and tossed him into a nearby shore. Too exhausted to continue his search, Pinocchio found a path and wearily followed it, not knowing where it would lead. Along this trail Pinocchio met a woman carrying a jug of water. "May I have a drink?" asked Pinocchio. "Only if you carry the jug of water," she answered. Pinocchio did, and they returned to her house. Then she took off her hat. Pinocchio realized she was the Blue Fairy. "Please forgive me for lying about my gold coins," cried Pinocchio. "I am tired of being a foolish puppet. I want to be a real boy." The Blue Fairy smiled. "I will make you a real boy, but you must learn to always be honest and tell the truth." Over the next year, Pinocchio was an honest boy and even went to school with the other boys. In order to reward him, the Blue Fairy said, "I will turn you into a real boy. We will have a party. Go invite your friends." Pinocchio ran out and met his friend Candlestick, who wasn't a very nice boy. "Can you come to my party?" asked Pinocchio. "I have to wait here until midnight," answered Candlestick. "Then I'm going away." "Where are you going?" "To the land of play. There's no school there. Every day is a fun holiday. The carriage is coming for me. Come along." Pinocchio forgot about being turned into a real boy. All he could think about was having fun. When the carriage came, Pinocchio climbed in with his friend. Pinocchio saw that donkeys were wearing boots pulling the carriage. They were crying. "How strange," he thought. The land of play. When they arrived at the land of play, boys were riding bicycles, playing ball, and splashing in the fountain. How wonderful! Life was such fun in the land of play. One day, Candlewick said, "Just think, if you hadn't come with me, you would be in school right now. See what a good friend I am." Pinocchio agreed and rubbed his ears. They were bothering him. He went to bed that night, and in the morning he had different ears. Candlewick and Pinocchio woke up with donkey ears. "I should never have come to this place," said Pinocchio, pulling at his new ears. As both boys cried, their faces and bodies were covered in gray fur. Pinocchio was sold and led to his new home. On his way there he passed a seaside cliff. This was where Pinocchio had watched Geppetto's boat sink. Tugging free, Pinocchio, the donkey, jumped into the sea. As Pinocchio sank into the sea, he was surrounded by small fish sent by the Blue Fairy. They nibbled away his fur. While Pinocchio swam, the huge dogfish appeared and swallowed him. Everything was dark in the fish's belly, but he heard a familiar voice in the distance. It was Geppetto. Pinocchio and Geppetto are reunited. "Geppetto, it is you!" cried Pinocchio. "Yes, Pinocchio, yes," answered Geppetto. Pinocchio told him how sorry he was. "I will never leave you again." This time Pinocchio had told the truth. With Pinocchio's help, he and Geppetto escaped the dogfish and reached the shore. On the shore, they came across a house with a light on inside. They knocked on the door. "Come in," said the voice. Pinocchio and Geppetto opened the door and saw the talking cricket. "Will you please help us?" asked Pinocchio. "This is my house, and you once treated me very badly," said the talking cricket. "I'm so sorry," said Pinocchio. "I forgive you," said the talking cricket. "But you must learn to be a good boy and always tell the truth." They stayed with the talking cricket, and one night Pinocchio dreamed of the Blue Fairy. "You have been a good and honest boy. You will be rewarded," she said. When Pinocchio awoke, he yawned and stretched. He looked at his arms, and they were real boy arms. He was back at Geppetto's house. He ran to Geppetto. "Look, I'm a real boy." "How could this happen?" Pinocchio asked. "The Blue Fairy must have worked her magic, believing you earned the right to be a boy." And Pinocchio knew in his heart that with her help he had become a good boy at last.